In this video, I'm going to show you how to use custom fields at an account level and also at a project level. So let's dive into our project.co demo account. Okay, so custom fields are a way for you to collect and display the data that's important to you. By default, we only show the data that's necessary to actually make the system run. So we suggest that you add custom fields for any other data points that you want to collect. And custom fields can be added to all areas of the project.co system. So for projects, for example, you might want to have a priority column so you know which projects are the highest priority. For people, you might want to track birthday, renewal date, type of customer, for example. For groups, you might want to track address. For files, you might want to track the type of file. For payments, you might want to track which stage in the payment cycle the payment's from. And for time, you might want to add a note. All these different types of custom fields are possible to be generated, and I'll show you how. Okay, so to add your own custom fields, you go to Options, Account Settings, and Custom Fields. And you see we only actually have one in the account here, and that's the priority custom field on projects. But let's add a new one. So if we go to New Custom Field, the first thing we need to do is we need to choose what this applies to. And when we drop this down, you can see that we have the ability to select project, task, group, people, time, payments, and files. So all areas of the project.co system. So let's go into group and let's add the address. And the type that we need for an address is a text, because we just want a single line of text, or we could use a text area. But there's lots of other custom field types that we can add. Numeric, currency, percent, select so that you can select one option, select color so that you can select one option along with a color, really good for priority so you can actually color the priorities, and multi-select so you can select many options, which is really good when you want to select perhaps what type of services a customer might get from you, and date as well, great for birthdays, renewal dates, things like that as well. So for address, let's use a text and we'll create that custom field. Now let's add a couple more. Let's go to New Custom Field and we'll add payment, and we'll say payment stage. And for this, we want to select a stage. So let's go to select and we'll say first, middle, and last payment stage. Okay. Let's create that. Okay, we'll just create one more. So let's say applies to, and we want to it to apply to people. And let's say we want to add a birthday in there. And what we need for that is date. Okay, and we create that as well. Just to show you a few options here, actually, sorry. If we go back and click Edit, you can see the editor again. And we have a few options down here that I forgot to mention. So you can make the field required, so it has to be entered before that page can be completed. So if you're adding a new person, you have to enter this birthday, for example. If you're adding a new payment, you have to enter that custom field. It won't let you pass without filling out that custom field. So that's great if the data is absolutely required. And then you can allow it to be filtered by, grouped by, and sorted by. And it's fantastic because it means that you can then filter, group, and sort your data based on any of the custom fields you create. And I'd recommend you go and look at the filter, sorting, and grouping video that explains this in a bit more detail. Okay, so let's go over to our user page and we can actually see this in action. So if we go to create new person, we can see that we now have birthday as a custom field. And when we open that up, we can go there and we can select 1969, February the 12th. If any of you are born on that date, please let me know in the comments. Yeah, that's an example of a custom field. It looks exactly like the normal fields, but it's just a data point that you can add and collect yourself. And then if we go to the people page, you'll also see that we now have a birthday column in here as well. Okay, so let's have a look at some of our other custom fields that we set up. If we go over to groups, we'll now see that we have an address column. So we could edit the address of any of these by going to View, and then we want to edit group. So we can now see that we have an address line here. So we can enter address in, just save that. And then if I go back to our groups, you'll see that we now have an address for that. And this can be sorted by and filtered by as well. In this instance, we don't have grouping for groups, but we can sort and filter that by address, which is fantastic. It can be done by any custom field. So I just want to show you that's the account level. So we can add a custom field on any of our items, any of our main sections within the project.co account. But where this becomes, and that will show across every single item, so every single project, every single task, every single person, all the different items. But where this becomes really, really powerful is where you use it on a project by project basis. And I've set up a project where we can look at custom fields that have been set up for that project only. So let's go to this project called lead tracking, and we'll go into tasks. And you can see here that we actually have a project that is basically just custom fields. We have our date field, our status field, and our assigned field all hidden, and we only have the custom fields remaining. So we have lead status, which is a select color. We have quality, which is a select. We have budget, which is a select. Qualified, which is a select color. And then we have start, which is a select. So for example, a way to demonstrate this, if I click in here, double click in, we can now change that to MQL, for example. I could change that to there, and it's very, very quick to change the data on your custom fields. We can then also sort and group by this field as well, so by this custom fields as well. So if we go in here and we want to group by lead status, we've now got all our new leads, our contact attempted, MQLs, in conversation, SQLs, and lost. If we actually sort by lead status as well, it'll be in order. There we go. So custom fields, fantastic way to collect the data that you want. If we just ungroup that, we can now see the power of custom fields. At a project level, this is how you would create them and edit them. You can either go over to, when you're inside a project, the plus icon here that will say, let's create a new project level custom field. And it's always highlighted in a different color to show you whether it's account level or project level. That's how you would create a new custom field. Or we can see all custom fields for this project by going back to the project, and then at the bottom here we have custom fields, and we can see the custom fields that we have set up. Equally, to create a custom field at the project level is very, very similar. You just go to new custom field. The main difference will be that it'll say project level instead of account level, and this custom field would then only show within this project. So that's a very quick introduction to custom fields at the account level and also at the project level. Very, very powerful to collect your own data. I'd love to know how you use this. Please let me know. And if you have any questions along the way, please get in touch with our support team, because we'd be very happy to help you.